Hey guys, Andrew here with Dad Verb. There are a lot of fun facts about babies out there, like how newborns don't produce tears when they cry, they're ambidextrous, they have more bones than adults, fun stuff. But there are some things that we should dive a little bit more into. Number one, babies can't have honey in the first 12 months of life. I didn't know that. It's honey, right? It seems pretty harmless, like what has honey ever done? Well, honey can occasionally contain a bacteria that can produce toxins in the baby's intestines, right? And that can lead to infant botulism. Now, botulism can result in constipation accompanied by, quote, floppy movements, weakness, and difficulty sucking or feeding. If not treated early, it can be life-threatening, but most babies make a full recovery when treated at a hospital. It's rare, but all of that can come from honey. After 12 months, honey is okay and should be harmless to babies, as their digestive systems are a little bit more developed and they can move the toxins through the body before they cause any harm. Number two, toys don't help babies get smarter. Now, you may have heard of like Love Every or KiwiCo. They're like these stage-based play boxes or like sensory play with babies, right? And I actually do plan on doing a review of those boxes because I think they're actually pretty cool. But it's not the toys themselves that help a baby's brain grow. What facilitates that is actually you as the parent, your engagement and your interaction during play with those objects with your baby, right? What does this sound like? What does this feel like? What is it doing? What color is it? And you're kind of actively playing with those objects and those things during sensory play. That's what's helping the baby's brain grow, not the toys in particular. So if you're dropping like a ton of money on these gorgeous, beautiful, natural, Montessori or whatever toys that are out there, I'm sorry to say it, but that's not going to do anything for them if you're not playing with them. It is 100% on us as parents. That is what's going to help them get the most out of these toys, not the toys themselves. And also, let me follow that up with another toy product. It's actually not a toy, but it's a product that you might want to avoid, and that's actually baby walkers. You may be thinking, hey, it's time for the baby to start walking now. You can get them a baby walker. It's going to help them out. Easy peasy. Well, that's actually not the case, because the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, which I will actually be referring to a couple more times later in this video, so just heads up, right? They actually called for the ban of walkers, saying, quote, "Infant walkers have been the source of concern among healthcare professionals for years. They can lead to injuries from falling downstairs and gaining access to objects that otherwise may have been out of reach. Their use can also delay motor development, according to the study Infant Walker-Related Injuries in the United States." So while you may think, hey, that's a great thing to pick up, or we used it for our other kid, it was great, maybe reconsider that. There are probably better options out there. Now, here's something that you should get though. I want to give a big thanks to our channel sponsor, Nanit. It is a dream that I actually get to say that, because this is something that I've legit been using for years now. Nanit is a smart baby monitor that delivers remote viewing of your baby's sleep space right from your phone. You can get sleep insights, breathing, motion monitoring, and now growth tracking. So if you want to pick up what we currently use in both of our kids' rooms right now as we speak, you can use the link in the description. Now let's move on to fact number 3, and this is less of a fact about babies and more of a fact about you and what happens after the baby comes. Number 3, guys' testosterone levels drop after becoming dads. So there's an anthropologist that you should really follow named Anna Machin, or is it Mackin? I honestly don't know how to pronounce her name. What I do know is that she is fascinating and has written a lot on the scientific and biological changes that we go through when we become dads. Now, there's a lot that actually happens, particularly with our brains, but the one main thing that has been studied is our natural drop in testosterone levels. For some guys, that may be emasculating. A lot of people associate testosterone with masculinity and manliness and strength, which, okay, sure, but why do we naturally lose those testosterone levels when we have a baby? Now, that's actually a deep wormhole, and I'm gonna link the full article for you to read down below, because it really is fascinating. But generally speaking, it happens because it actually helps prime us to be better dads. The levels are going to drop differently for everyone, but it's been studied that the more significant the drop, the bigger changes it actually has on us as caregivers. From a scientific standpoint, it can actually make us more empathetic, lowers the risk of hostility and aggression, and guys are more likely to, quote, release key reward and bonding hormones, namely oxytocin and dopamine, when interacting with his child, which basically means that we feel happier and more content when bonding. So no, it's not just moms who go through changes biologically as well. And you may have noticed some guys who are like, I just became an absolute softie when my son or my daughter came along. That might be why. Along that line though, 4 months postpartum, my wife was just shedding hair like crazy. Hair everywhere. Like I would walk, it would get caught up in my toes. It was like weaving itself in the fibers of my shirts and sweaters. It just, hair everywhere, falling out constantly. From what I've learned, that's actually a hormonal thing that shifts after the baby comes. It's absolutely normal. So if that happens, don't be surprised because it's definitely a thing. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Number 4, babies are born with fontanelles. I hope I said that right. But anyway, you may be asking yourself, what are those? Now you may notice that your newborn has a soft spot right in the top middle of the head right there and one on the back of the head a little bit, right? Kind of like near the crown. Those soft spots are called fontanelles. Now I remember bathing our firstborn early on and I remember feeling that, I'm like, wow, why is his skull like dipping down like that? Like, is there a problem? Is he okay? No, there was no problem. It's completely normal. The newborn skulls aren't fully fused for a couple of reasons. First, it's so that they can mold to the shape of the birth canal. The second reason is because your baby's brain is going to be growing really fast early on, and that spacing is going to help accommodate that growth before all those gaps close and then the skull comes together. The rear one is usually going to be the first one that closes up at around 6 months, and then the top, at the very top over here, that's going to close around 18 months. Now you also may be asking yourself, so if I'm like pressing down on that soft spot on the baby, am I basically pressing on his or her brain? The answer is no. There are lots of layers and membranes that separate the skin from the brain, so don't worry about it, you should be good to go. Number 5, you should introduce peanut products early. So a long time ago, it was widely recommended that you avoid giving allergenic products like peanut products and whatnot to your babies, but that advice has since changed and we're kind of going in a new direction here. Now this does go deep, and please know that this is actually not medical advice. Always listen to your pediatricians first, not a random YouTuber, but according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, you should try introducing not just peanuts, but different types of allergenic foods like eggs, soy, wheat, and fish earlier rather than later to possibly prevent developing food-related allergies. Now again, this is not medical advice. This is just something that is on the AAP's website. I have it linked, you can check that out. But again, before you do any sort of dietary shifts, make sure that you get that checked off with your pediatrician first. Now, according to the AAP, there is a strategy to this when you are ready to start introducing solids to your baby. Now, this is taken directly from their website. Quote, start solids with a few foods that are of low allergy risk. For example, infant cereal, pureed bananas, or pureed prunes. Give your baby one new food at a time and wait at least 2 to 3 days before starting another. After each new food, watch for any allergic reactions such as diarrhea, rash, or vomiting. If any of these occur, stop using the new food and consult with your child's pediatrician. If there's no special reason to be concerned that your baby is at an increased risk for food allergies, after a few first foods have been tolerated, you can start to introduce the more highly allergenic foods like milk, soy, wheat, peanut, tree nut, fish, and shellfish. It is important that these and all foods are in forms and textures appropriate for infants. For instance, while whole cow's milk is not recommended before 1 year of age, you may introduce processed dairy products such as whole milk yogurt or Greek yogurt mixed with the fruit that your baby has already had in his or her diet. Once again, obviously, you don't want to take medical advice from a YouTuber, but this is taken directly from the AAP and it is something to consider. So if you do want to dive more into it, I'll link everything that I've learned and read down below, and you can all use that to consult your pediatrician or maybe an allergy specialist if it is something that you might be concerned with. But again, before proceeding, get that checked off with your pediatrician. This isn't medical advice. I can't stress that enough. Okay, that's all I've got for you guys. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button down there. It looks like a thumbs up. For more videos and reviews for new parents, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.